Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today, yet again, in our Heavy Rain broadcast. As you know, we've done the introduction, and we've had already Heavy Rain live stream in 5 parts. We've gone fairly deeply into the game. We really are given several pointers in terms of who the origami killer might be. There has been a bit of a misfortune early on today when FBI agent Jaden got killed, and he's one of our lead characters, so the fact that he's already perished will affect the storyline and we'll get a particular type of ending with him being dead. There's no way for me to revive him or, you know, bring back the earlier save point, because this game just doesn't work like this. In order to get the happiest ending, all 4 protagonists would need to be alive and well. But in this instance, this is not going to be the case. I'm not sure whether this is my fault or just the way this game works. But you do find sometimes when you replay it that you will get, you know, a bit of difference in terms of how things are progressing. So it's for the second time that I'm being, well, my FBI agent Jaden is being killed fairly early in the game, and he was killed by a well-known criminal. So you could say maybe I wasn't careful enough when approaching that criminal, or simply at the point where the criminal pointed a gun at me, there was nothing else that I could do. Well, when we replay the game, we'll find out. But I don't want to ramble on, really. What we want to do is we want to jump in. So let's crack on. As you could see, we have the same close-up, the slide with, you know, one of the characters. And as you know, anytime we win a trophy or get a new bonus, we get this particular image springing up. In this instance, we didn't win anything. Oh, look at that. Looks like a fabulous nightclub. Tell me, who would like to be there right now?
Paco Mendez. He's the guy who rented the Doc's apartment on Marble Street. Better be careful. He might be the killer.
So you tell me, in this sort of incredible, wild, debaucherous nightclub, is Madison gonna be displaying some of her most flirtatious dancing skills? Take your bet. Email me, tweet me, or message me on what she might or might not be doing. If you played the game already, then obviously it's dead boring for you. But there are lots of people who have heard of the game and never played it before, so these bets are for you.
Mendez. Do you know where he is?
He's at the table over there. Does he know
you? Not yet, but I have to talk to him.
That's not possible. Mr. Mendez is asked not to be disturbed.
So let's try to think how is she gonna be able to get to this Paco Mendes? She'll need to do something which is fairly distracting. And I think...
to like his girls sexy. Sexy in a kind of dumb way.
Yeah, this is what we're going to do. We are going to bring her upstairs. Come on. It's a bit ridiculous now, isn't it? Well, isn't there anyone in this crowd who'd like to dance with Madison? By the looks of it, there isn't. Well, that's most highly disappointing. There you go. Come on. And what's upstairs? I guess we'll find out. Really?
I'm gonna have to rethink my strategy if I want to talk to Paco. I've gotta find someplace to change. I've nothing against techno, trance, whatever music, but this stuff is really loud.
And so it should be. It's a proper Blue Lagoon nightclub.
Paco's Pecgoon isn't letting anyone through. I'm gonna have to think of something else. If this Paco is one of the buddies of Dr. Death, I'd better watch my step.
Surely. And he's one of his buddies.
Late school for the jet set. Not really my kind of hangout. Maybe I could catch his attention by spreading my stuff nearby.
Very crowded out there. But look, this dance floor is now vacant. So let's dance. Dancing in high heels is no fun, I can tell you. Well, at least Madison thinks so. Mr. Mendes is not looking up.
Guess it's time to sexy up my performance. All I need is a good place to change.
Yeah, maybe she needs to go to the bathroom and then do something. Let's see.
Madison. Of course. The restroom. It's private, girls only. It's that big red cube near the entrance.
Off to the restroom. Or toilets, as we would say in England. Hang on, where am I going? I'm going the wrong way. There. Ladies first. Oh no, there's the door. And there we go. So what is she going to do to attract Mr. Mendes' attention? Think. What can she do? Well, quite a bit, as you'll see. Watch this.
Time to play the sexy girl.
Fluffy hair. No, it was ridiculous. She needs to do a lot more. Come on. Look at this. Much shorter now. Like a proper miniskirt. This particular sequence is a bit eerie because the makeup kit looks like a knife, which is rather distressing if you're considering that she's just doing a mascara. It's the graphics, I guess. What now? A bit more. Yep. Just a bit more and the makeup is going to be done in full. Oh, she has a gun. May well be very useful. Madison is now completely done. So what are we going to do? We are going to have a bit more fun down the dance floor. And let's see what happens next. This is awesome. It's just like as if you were in a nightclub, you know? You come out of that loo and then suddenly there's all this very loud music everywhere. And the nightclub scene really fairly crowded. You see there. Well, if you were to come to some of the London clubs, I mean, I find them a lot more overcrowded. There we go. Dance. Oh, I missed it. Mr. Mendes is digging. Actually, what we'll do is dance a bit more. Hey you, so now I can't dance anymore. I really fancy it. Really fancy a bit more though. But looks like it's not going to be possible. Looks like Madison's done just enough.
It's your lucky day, sweetheart. The boss wants to invite you to his table.
Hey, thanks for accepting my little invitation. You new around here, honey? I think I would have noticed you before. My name's Paco. You?
Madison. I'm Madison.
Ah. When you move, Marisa, you're hot under the collar.
Maybe we can continue this conversation somewhere more private.
Oh, cool, baby. Yeah, come with me.
So what's the problem in here? Mr. Mendez has gone upstairs. And Madison needs to follow him. I just love the atmosphere. Literally throughout the whole game. It's amazing. And what now? The bodyguard is oblivious to the fact he's seen her before. And that's because Mr. Mendez is in there. Look at that.
Everything is gonna be all right. I have a plan. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Surely it will.
Shit. You're making the biggest mistake of your life, Madison. This guy is truly revolting. Ugh.
Yes, he certainly is.
Just follow him to his office. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be all right. I'm not getting a good feeling about this. No one knows I'm here. I'll be all alone if things get out of hand. Just follow him to his office. I go in, I make him talk to the gun, and I get out of there before I get into big trouble. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything is going to be all right.
The gun needs to be made ready, just in case.
So, welcome to my little kingdom.
A little kingdom.
I'll take that. Just get in the way of the good things, sweet cheeks. So, show me what you can do. Take it all. Slowly. Take it all of me.
Could I have a drink? You know, just a little drink to break the ice.
Oh, we already broke the ice. Let's get wet. Come on. Do your thing, girl.
Could we just talk first?
Oh, no. We don't need any more talking, baby. I all talked out. Now, show me what you can do.
I'm sorry. I think there's been a little misunderstanding.
This guy is so detestable.
I'll just go. No harm done.
He is
Another
so
time.
detestable.
I think it is you who have misunderstood, honey. I'm tired of wasting my time. It's now or never. And I never take never for an answer.
So what is she going to do? wrestle with him. That's gonna be difficult.
Just like that. I'll puke if he so much as touches me. Think of something. There's got to be some way out of here. The lamp. If only I could find some way to grab it. Oh, I know!
I should be dancing. And he will fall for that.
Baby sweet cakes. You got it.
That's what I call kicking butt. You go, girl.
You go, girl.
Okay, Act 2. Let's hear Loverboy sing.
This animal needs to be taught a lesson.
If you call out, I'll kill you. Got it?
Shit. What you want?
You rent an apartment on Marble Street. I want to know why.
An apartment? I don't know what you're talking about. Ugh! You fucking bitch! I'm gonna kill you! Not bad for a chica, but you only hurt my feelings a little bit, mama.
Boss? Is everything all right?
If you value those prized balls of yours, Paco, then it's time for you to talk.
What you doing? Stop it! Stop it!
I'm only getting started. How about some more?
I never set foot in that apartment. I gave the keys to some guy. He said he needed a place. He had money.
What was that guy's name?
I don't know his name. I swear. Ah! 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 Shepard. His name is John Shepard. That's all I know. I swear it. Ugh.
There, that wasn't so hard, was it? I really appreciated this romantic moment, but I gotta dash. See you next time, lover boy.
He was taught a lesson. Justly so. What a sleazeball. I just hate that guy.
Time to get out of here. I've got a massive headache.
And just consider that she's also an insomniac. It's interesting how everyone in this game has some sort of major emotional disturbance. And everybody's gone through some form of tragedy, one way or the other. So you could say, absolutely, this is a proper film noir, for certain. Wait a minute, where's the exit in here? Straight up. And nobody wants to dance with her. Look at this. That's just really, truly ridiculous. No attention given to her whatsoever. And there we go. Mr. Mendes was taught a lesson. Madison did get the name. Ethan is at home again. Well, not at home, but in his hotel. And completely overwrought by everything he's experienced.
Ethan, are you alright?
I killed a man. I had no choice. I had no choice.
Well, the other guy had a pump-up shotgun.
You're not
What
the
else
origami
was he
killer,
to do?
Ethan. You're not responsible for those murders. I can prove it.
That changes nothing. Saving Sean is all that matters now.
Well, you could really tell this was going to happen right from the beginning, ever since they met first. Nothing in the fridge. That's just too bad. Is anyone watching? Doesn't look like it. So for the moment they're safe. What else is there? Nothing much for him to look at, I don't think. Let's see. No. Probably need to get dressed. The last letter's 961 Rainbow Lane. So now he's got another clue. Ah, the rain never stops in here. Cold. There's nothing else in the toilet. Where's his jacket? Let's see. Oh, there. It's not actually his jacket. Yes, he had figured out really what Madison was about. But maybe not in full. Maybe just a bit. And this is a notebook with all the notes she would have taken about the origami killer,
I should have guessed.
Ethan,
All this time and I had no
everyone
idea.
else.
Ethan, what's the matter?
I thought I meant something to you.
Listen,
You're a pretty good nurse for a fucking journalist!
Ethan, I wanted to tell you, but...
What kind of article were you gonna write? My life with a serial killer? No. How I caught the origami killer. Maybe you'll get a book deal. I hope it was fucking worth it!
Ethan, it's not what you think.
You lied to me, Madison! All this time you fucking lied to me! I thought you wanted to help me, but you're only thinking of writing a fucking book?
It's not quite like that,
It's true.
Mr. Mars.
I'm a journalist. And I knew that you were the father of the boy who had disappeared, and I wanted to cover the story. But then I saw what you were going through to save your son. And I understood how much you love him. I wanted to tell you the truth, but I couldn't. I was afraid that you may not believe me. I was afraid that you'd ask me to go. All I want is for you to find your son alive. And when it's all over, I want to be with you. I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm so sorry. You're leaving, aren't you?
It's the last origami figure. The last letters, then I'll know where Sean is.
Take care, Ethan. I can't lose you now.
Oh, she's getting dressed as well. But he's got the
I'm
address.
gonna go find something to eat. Wait for me. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I think I'm starting to fall in love. I was so afraid he wouldn't believe me. Wrong move, idiot. I should have admitted everything earlier. Now we gotta find his son. And I think I know where to start looking. We'll find his son and prove he's innocent. I'll be able to help him now that he knows who I am.
Madison is the most likable character in this game when compared to all the other guys. Oh, it's down here. Just missing out on the other lot of stuff. No. Look at that. This way. Looks like it's been raining for days. Police. Police.
Cops. They're looking for Ethan. It looks like a raid.
She needs to go in and call.
on, what was the damn number? Crap, that's not it. I've got to warn Ethan. What's going on?
Isn't this great? Like being in a TV show. Who'd have thought it? The origami killer renting a room here. He registered under a false name, but I recognized his face.
Come on, come on. Pick up the phone.
Hello?
The cops. They're in the motel. You've got to get out of here.
Come on, he's getting away! He's still on the move! Get him! He's making a run for it! He's on the balcony! Whoa! Don't move! Don't move!
Lieutenant, I got it. Game over.
Yeah, he was caught. I couldn't get away. It's disappointing as well. Because this is going to be affecting the outcome as well if he ends up in prison. We'll see what happens next.
My son's gonna die. You gotta save him. Please, save my son. I beg you. You're his last chance. Save my son.
Scott Shelby, private investigator. But you know, they've not paid any attention to the disappearance of Jaden's yet. At the police headquarters, they've been busy tracking down the origami killer. And they believe they got the suspect in custody. You know, but he's a suspect, alright, but he's not the killer, from what we could gather so far.
I'm sorry, Scott.
You should have listened to me, Mr. Shelby. I told you to drop the investigation.
Your son is a serial killer. How many people does he have to kill before you turn him in?
Gordy has his faults, but he's still my son. You have no children, Mr. Shelby. You can't possibly understand. You leave me no choice. Your investigation is over. For good.
Oh, this is a difficult sequence. They need to get out of this vehicle, which has been thrown into the river.
Lauren! No! Shit! Wake up! Lauren!
He left her behind. That's just too terrible. She's dead as well. Oh no, I lost two characters.
Bastard. I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, that's disappointing. He didn't try hard enough to save her. So we lost Jaden and we lost Lauren. Got a gun. It's a bit like in John Wick. Everyone dead.
Stay back! Don't come near me, or I'll shoot!
Fucking asshole.
Please, don't... Oh!
Bastard! Lauren is dead! You fucking killed her!
Stop! Stop! I beg you!
Your idiot son killed all those kids, didn't he? He's the origami killer.
No! No! He's innocent! He's not a killer! Not a killer! Oh! Oh! Oh!
You're a fucking liar. Now tell me the truth.
No! No, please! Don't hurt me!
Last chance.
I don't know! I swear! I don't know anything! Oh! Oh! Stop! Stop! I beg you. I'll tell you everything.
Gordy always wanted his fun, you know. He wanted to be like the origami killer. He kidnapped that kid and he held him under the water for a little too long. It was an accident. An unfortunate accident. He just wanted to play. He told me everything. He was crying. He was so sorry for what had happened. Whatever he did, Gordy is my son. No one will miss him.
What?
That boy, Gordy killed. No one will miss him. He was street trash, like so many others.
Oh, you disgusting pile of shit. And what about John Shepard? Why did you put flowers on his grave?
I own the construction site where he died. I never forgot. I've been putting flowers on his grave for 30 years.
John had a twin brother. What happened to him?
I don't know. He was adopted, I think. His mother should know. Her name is Anne. Anne Shepard. That girl, Lauren, she was just a whore. You'll forget her in no time. Come and work for me, Shelby. I'll pay you well. You'll be able to have all the girls you want.
Never say her name again. You hear me? Never.
My heart! My heart! Quickly! I need my pills. In that drawer, there.
I'm no better than him if I let him die.
Then he's saving his life.
Thank you. You saved my life.
I already regret it.
I already regret it. But he did save his life. I mentioned John Wick early on, but actually this film was made only a couple of years ago, and this game was created, well, it was released in 2006. So it's quite interesting that perhaps the sections of the game had the influence on the creators of John Wick. It's a very similar type of scenario, you know, him getting into the house and then shooting everybody there. Oh, she's going to the old people's home. But before we get into the old people's home, we'll have a short break. We've already been streaming for about an hour, and you know, it's just about the right time to have a cup of tea before we proceed with our investigation a bit further. So take a break and see you all in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. I had my short break, and in the meantime I received 2 messages regarding, well, separate characters in this game. One person asked me, does Jaden always die so early in the game? Well, to be honest with you, I don't really know, because any time I play the game, I got killed. Well, my character Jaden got killed by the same criminal, but just in a different fashion every single time. So obviously I need to find a way, in order to get away from that criminal, to get out, basically to survive. And so far I've not found a way. Partly it's to do with the way the controls work, but then I think also it's the way through which when I play Jaden, it's down to the way I'm investigating the location, and if I do too many investigations initially, then the criminal becomes more suspicious, and therefore, he basically has the upper hand and kills me. So I think it's more to do with the way I approach the crime scene than anything else. And to answer your question, there is a certain degree of vulnerability that the FBI agent Jaden is displaying, and I gather that he might get killed by some other characters in the game, but most of the times it's all down to his character flaws. For instance, he's very new to the FBI, so he has not been in that position for very long. Previously he had some work in psychology, and therefore he's not really that fast with his gun. He may not be in sync or in tune with some of the difficulties that he's facing whilst investigating. But most importantly, he is addicted to that fictional drug, and he needs to be taking the drug all the time in order to keep sane and focused. So in a course of the game, let's say if you're coming towards the end and he's taking a drug many times, then he will die of an overdose, and that's one of the ways through which he will die. And the other is if he's overusing that gadget ARI, the specs that he is using at the crime scenes to gather evidence. They also have certain amount of radiation, and if he's overexposed to them, he can also die. But that's not happened to me when I played him. I've heard that from other gamers who would have played his game like 100 times. So yes, he is more vulnerable than those other characters, and he's likely to die early if we're not careful enough. The other question concerned Lauren, and somebody asked me whether she always died in that car. Is there any way through which she can get released and get out of the car? To be honest with you, I don't really know. When I played it, she always died. But I think the way to tackle that particular sequence is by, Scott Shelby, first of all, getting released himself as quickly as possible, and then attempting to get her out of the vehicle as well. She's quite critical when it comes to the final sequence, in the game, and particularly when it comes to the discovery of Ethan's son. So if you are to get a happy ending, she really needs to live, because when you lose 2 characters, the likelihood of finding Sean and discovering the place where he's held is becoming less and less likely. So sadly, the way I played this game in this instance with this walkthrough, has been more directed towards the sad or the bad ending. But we still have quite a few opportunities for Madison to find out where the killer is and who he is, and then also for Ethan to get out of prison, or to basically find a way out, and then possibly 2 of them can find his son. So to summarize, both of those characters, Lauren and Jaden, are more prone to these kinds of early deaths, but they can live on. There is one trophy which says that all the lead characters survived, well, I've not been able to get to that level as yet. But you know, we'll see. Keep playing the game, and I'll try to get all the trophies at the end. As I said, I really love this game, although there's one section when he cuts off his finger that I really dislike. I think it really is completely unnecessary, as I get coerced into that, you know, criminal sadism, which I really dislike intensely. So, these are the questions. Well, thanks very much for sending them over. Look forward to receiving many more, and also, you know, discussing the game. So let's just carry on. Let's proceed. Madison is arriving at the old people's home, and she will ask a few questions in order to get some, you know, some new leads. So let's see.
Only a few hours left before Sean Mars dies. Hope I'm not wasting my time. John Shepard died 30 years ago. Hope his mother has all the answers to this puzzle.
He is. And the question is, who is his twin brother? Do you have any suspicions? Have you guessed? Do not look up on the internet. Don't read all these heavy rain forums, because you will be in for a big surprise if you don't know anything about it.
Hello, I'm looking for Anne Shepard's room.
Please sign the visitor's book. Are you a member of the family?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, she'll be pleased to have a visitor. No one ever comes to see her. With the Alzheimer's, she has trouble remembering things, but it'll still please her, you know. It's room 19 at the end of the corridor.
Thank you. Room 19. Where is that?
At the end of the corridor. She really needs to be careful, because the killer might be also trying to get, you know, to the old people's home, and she needs to be asking a few questions in order to find out who the killer is. And John Shepard's mother will know that for certain, although she suffers from Alzheimer's. But somehow my feeling is that she'll know something.
Room 19. Where is that?
Flowers. Room 19 will be down here. So that's 17, 18, 19. There we go. The first one on your right.
Hello, Mrs. Shepard.
Is it time for my pills already?
No, Mrs. Shepard,
They're never on time with my pills. I don't know what they do here. In the other hospital, they were always on time. But here...
I came to talk about your son, Mrs. Shepard.
My son? I have no son.
Do you remember John?
My Johnny. He is a good little boy, you know.
I know what happened at Carnaby Square. Do you remember?
Carnaby Square. I think I used to live there a long time ago. We didn't have much money at the time, you know. We had to make do with very little.
You had a son named John, and John had a twin brother.
Do you have my pills? It's time for my pills.
Mrs. Shepard, your son may be linked to a series of murders. Perhaps you have some information that could help the investigation.
Are you a new nurse? Where are my pills?
Try to remember, Mrs. Shepherd. John's twin brother was placed with a foster family after the accident. What was the name of the foster family?
I asked them for a television, you know. They said I didn't have enough money. It's a pity. I'm fond of television.
I think your son is in trouble, Mrs. Shepherd. He's done some terrible things. I need to find him. Do you understand?
Terrible things you're telling me. He never came to see me, can you believe it? In 10 years, never. No one forgets their mother, do they?
Your other son, Mrs. Shepherd, John's twin brother. What was his name?
What other son? I have no other son. I never had any children.
See the dog? That's the origami figure that was frequently present at the crime scene. So that's very important. This is the origami figure of dog. We'll leave that one out. There,
Oh, you know how to do these little dogs too. My children loved origami. I taught them how to do it. John loved the little dogs. He always wanted to call them Max. Max, Max, Max. All dogs with the same name. I was wasting my time telling him they couldn't all have the same name. But he always wanted his paper dogs Max. It's funny, isn't it?
All right, no point in wasting my time. I won't learn anything more by staying here. It seems to be working. She's remembering stuff. Gotta find something else to show her. This woman might be the origami killer's mother. Must be some way to get her to remember. All right, no point in wasting my time. I won't learn anything more by staying here. It'd take days, if not longer, to find the name of the family that adopted her son. Sean Mars would be dead by then.
There's a picture of
Are
two
these
of
your
them.
children, Mrs. Shepherd? John and his brother? Is that them?
They're good little boys. Their father never looked after them. Always drinking. They didn't have an easy life, you know.
Nothing in there. But you could see there's like a small vase in there, and that would be something for... Let's have a look. She was to bring a gift to her. A flower.
You don't seem to get many flowers, Mrs. Shepherd.
No, but I love them. My son knows that I love flowers. I know he'll bring me some.
Wow, that is something that might be very
Memory
useful.
is coming back. Don't stop now. Just remember.
I get those flowers. Madison is very, very clever. She actually is the best investigator amongst them all in this game.
Alright, no point in wasting my time. I won't learn anything more by staying here.
See, the flowers are in here. She can take those flowers. And then bring them back to the old lady.
Does Mrs. Shepherd ever talk about her past?
It's not all very clear to her now. Sometimes she'll remember the oddest things, though. I suppose if she sees something that reminds her of her past.
I'm looking for her other son. He was adopted. I mean, he's probably changed his name. Is there any official documentation on Mrs. Shepherd?
No, there's nothing really. Nothing about her family. I guess if her son was adopted, then she's the only one who could tell you about that.
Does she get many visitors?
She's been here for 10 years and you're the first. Sometimes, if you show her things, it seems to trigger a memory from her past. You might get it to remember.
Thanks for the advice. She said she loved flowers. But what kind? Show her things that take her back.
Yeah, the flyer is going to be very useful.
What a lovely orchid. My sons loved orchids. We used to grow them in the back. When John died, I laid orchids on his grave. I cried when they told me. I'd already lost one of my children, and now they were taking away another one, you understand.
The foster family, Mrs. Shepherd. What was the name of the foster family that adopted John's brother?
They were really very nice people. I met them, you know. In the beginning, I used to go and see my little boy. And then I got sick and I couldn't go any longer. Perhaps he thought I'd forgotten him. He must have thought I didn't love him anymore.
His name, Mrs. Shepherd. What was his name?
But I loved him. If you only knew how much I missed him.
Please, Anne. His name. What was his name?
Come closer.
She's been told the name, and she knows who the killer is. She holds the key to everything in the game now. And she simply cannot believe it, you could see. This is another nightmarish flashback. There are only two which are related to this particular incident. He's trying to get help, but will he be successful? There's his alcoholic father in there.
Dad, it's John! He fell into a pipe! He's
Get out of here, you little pest! Leave me
You
alone!
gotta come, Dad! Come on, John's gonna die! John's gonna
Well,
die!
that'll be one less greedy mouth to feed, won't it? Go away!
Please, Dad, I'm begging you! John's gonna die! John's gonna die,
What did I tell
Dad!
ya? Scrap!
Please, Dad, you've got to save John! I tried, John. I really tried. But he wouldn't come. Please don't die, John. Please. Don't forget about my Scotty.
Scotty. Scotty is his name. Scott Shelby. Twins. There he is, Mr. Shelby. Or Scotty, as his brother called him. He knows it's the end game, so let's see what he'll do. Alan Winter. You remember the envelope that Ethan received? It's literally destroying all evidence. So you could see he was chasing the mothers of all victims in order to gather evidence which then consequently would be destroyed. He was not interested in finding anything else. Basically, his investigation was to prevent any other investigation, and as we can see, he almost succeeded. But whether he will succeed at the end, we'll find out. Brutal. Beastly. see how he created the whole scene at Manfred's old shop. A true psychopath, organized and premeditated, remorseless, reliving the trauma. And acting on it. So we have Madison and Ethan left. Will they be able to find the location where his son is held? I guess they will have to be fast. So now she's come to Scott Shelby's apartment. No one in there. This is so difficult. The control when you have to toss doesn't really work properly. The last bit doesn't seem to work. Or it doesn't want to work, I don't know.
I lost your touch, girl.
Finally. But it's taken her far too long because the killer might be on his way.
Origami killer's apartment. There must be something that'll tell me where Sean Mars is.
Almost certainly she'll find something else in his flat. And she needs to be... Hang on a minute.
That's where the smell of burning comes from. Evidence going up in smoke.
Yeah, he burnt it all. His inhaler. Let's drink.
He used to be a cop. probably knew exactly how an investigation would be carried out.
Take the gun.
A cop's uniform. Always trust a cop. That's why children went with him. He was dressed as a cop.
Yes, that's likely. Oh, no, 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 no. That's a it's not the right thing to do. She needs to get in. It is taking her far too long to come in. Look at this. Terrible place.
Sean Mars. Oh, the lunatic's been watching him drown. It's some kind of a well filling up with rain, slowly drowning him. Oh, there's not much time left. There must be something here showing where the well is.
Yes, that's correct.
Shit, it needs a password. Got it. Max. The name John gave to his paper dogs when he was a child. What the hell is that? An address. It's gotta be where Sean Mars is.
8523.
Hurry.
Right.
There's no time to lose.
That's correct.
So you found my little secret?
It's over, Scott. All those children killed just to find a father capable of saving his son?
Shut up! You don't understand.
There's one child left. There might still be time to save him. Let him go. Do what your father couldn't do.
Get in there.
I can't get out. I'm gonna die, and there'll be no one to save Sean.
Come on. That's it. No, it is highly suspenseful. Will she be able to get away is the question.
Wet clothes will give me a better chance of surviving. Think, Matt, think. I gotta find some way to protect myself from the heat and smoke. I gotta wet my clothes, otherwise they're gonna catch fire. I might still have a chance, if I can just get out of the apartment fast enough. Smoke.
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
The apartment is already in flames. I gotta move fast if I want to get it alive. I'm choking. The air is burning my lungs. I don't want to... It's way too high. I'll kill myself if I jump. I've got to find something else. No point in trying to get out the window. The jump would kill me. There. I need some fresh air fast. Otherwise, I'm done for.
She survived. That's amazing. How on earth did she survive that explosion? Come on, Madison, you need to get to that address.
I know where Sean is. I've got to tell Ethan.
We're coming towards the end of the game. But I'm very pleased I was able to get away from that fire. I thought this was it. That fire was truly dreadful. And also with that gas explosion, my goodness. But she was hiding in the fridge, so, you know. Oh, cool as ice. Well, she knows exactly where he's being kept, so that's really positive. But how on earth is she gonna do this all by herself?
There's nobody around. Shelby must think I died in the fire. Sean? Where's Sean? An abandoned warehouse by the old docks. The perfect place if you don't want to be disturbed. Let's hope I'm not too late. Sean? Sean, hang on. I'll get you out.
What are you doing here? You're supposed to be dead! Dead!
You can't let the kid die, Scott. He's not responsible for what happened to you.
Only his father can save him. For years, I hoped a father would sacrifice himself to save his son. Every time they failed, it was as if my brother dies again.
I know what you went through, Scott. You lost your twin brother. He was the only one who understood you. The only one you could talk to.
John and I were like one person. When he died, it was like a part of me died with him.
You've killed all these people, Scott. And for what? Nothing. Just to ease your pain. It has to stop now. It won't make your pain go away.
You don't understand. Out there is a father who loves his son enough to sacrifice himself. I'll find him. Whatever it takes.
He's free.
He's not breathing. Shit, he's not breathing.
He's alive! That's incredible. She resuscitated him. My good God. She's a true hero. And look at this
Time to die, bitch.
ghastly murderer. Ah, he caught up with it already. That's it.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's too bad. She should have finished him off quick. You know, she's injured, so she can't really climb as fast. Mind you, he was just speared a moment ago, so he's quite injured as well. It's really suspenseful, the ending. You really feel for her. You want her to live, and you definitely want him to die. That's it. Let him die.
Please, help me.
No, don't try to sell. No, no.
Save me. Please, save me.
After everything you've done, you're not going to be saved. Madison lives. And Shelby dies.
There was general relief this morning when the police announced that Mars had been imprisoned in a well by the man known as the Origami Killer. And news of a happy ending tonight, as police commended the courage and tenacity of Madison Page, a reporter covering the Origami Killer story. Miss Page was a critical factor in the successful resolution of this case. Our main headline today: it is reported that the police have identified the man thought to be the Origami Killer. Scott Shelby, 48, is a former police lieutenant who claimed to be a private eye hired by the families of the killer's victims. Shelby was killed during a massive police operation, but further details have not yet been released to the public.
So it is a happy ending. That's fantastic.
Dad!
He can see his son. His son is alive. He is
Sean has
alive.
been waiting to see you for weeks.
Grace is
I thought you
here.
might like him to be here as soon as you got out. Ethan, I'm sorry.
Promise you'll never leave me again, Dad.
I promise, son. I never will again.
Our next guest is rumored to be about to receive a Pulitzer Prize for her remarkable series of investigative articles about the Origami Killer case. Showing incredible courage, her daring intervention led to the arrest of the country's most wanted criminal and saved the life of a little boy. This evening, I welcome a woman who might well be the true definition of a heroine for the ages, Madison Page. Good evening. Thank you for agreeing to talk with us. Now, you've been described as being both determined and tenacious. Two qualities, no doubt, that were needed to see you through the dark hours of this unbelievable story. Were you afraid at any time?
She's written a book, which obviously had become the major bestseller.
Thank you, Miss Page. I really admire you for what you've done.
Thank you.
For John, please. We need more journalists like you, Miss Page. It's a good thing you were there to catch that bastard.
Thank you. What's your name?
Vincent. Excellent investigation, Miss Page. You are one brave lady. You deserve a better adversary. Somebody more ferocious.
He's being buried in 2 days in some godforsaken hole in the back end of beyond near Washington. I have to attend as a matter of protocol.
I'll pass. Jane and I didn't see eye to eye on much.
No problem. I understand.
Hey, sir, I still have his glasses. What should I do with them?
Well, you won't be needing them again. Do whatever you want with them.
Well, this is a major surprise to him. He's never seen anything like it.
I want to see them again. I'm a father too.
And this is the end of the game. To my great disappointment, Madison and Ethan didn't get together. He was released from custody. He was reunited with his son. She wrote the book, became a best-selling author, but they didn't get together. So it is a happy ending, but it's not overly happy. We wanted them to get back together, well, to get together. And also the signing of the book ceremony indicated that at the time they might have thought of a sequel with her being the protagonist and some other character there being the villain. Hasn't materialized as yet, but you never know, it might happen. But it's just disappointing. I mean, really, you know, I was so happy and elated that I was really able to get out of that flat, which was obviously burning and suffered a major explosion, but when she rescued his son and killed Shelby, I thought this was going to be it. But evidently there was something else. Still, it was greatly enjoyable to play the game yet again, and I do understand from other players that there is the way to play the game so that at the end they could get together and live happily ever after. So far I didn't get this far. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you got something out of our little walkthrough, also from the introduction. It's been thoroughly enjoyable to be revisiting Heavy Rain, which was recently available for free on PlayStation 4. And for anyone who is the owner, or I can say whoever is a proud owner of the PS4 console, they would have been able to acquire Heavy Rain, if I'm not mistaken, in July, free of charge. And I can just only most highly recommend everything that, you know, PS4 team do have to offer. Both PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now are fantastic facilities, and you know, we can use them at all times. We have the means through which we can play games at any time of day or night. We don't even have to purchase them if we are on the PlayStation Now. And for PS Plus, we get freebies every month and extra bits. So definitely a way forward. We believe that's the future of gaming, but we'll have to see how everything in the industry develops. Coming back to the game, drop us a line, send us a tweet indicating what your experience was. There were parts of the game where I felt intensely involved with some of the characters. I would say probably particularly right at the end, where you know that she is the person who will be holding the key to the final resolution, and you really don't want her to be caught by this beast, and you want his son to be saved. You really feel for those characters, and I think that's the massive strength of this game. They really, they put an enormous amount of time and effort into building it, but being able to immerse, being able to feel for your characters is fundamental. And there are only very few games which can really achieve that for the gameplay. So that is definitely thumbs up. I did not like some of the violence which was present in the game, and also I think I emphasized several times in my walkthrough, the sequence where he's asked to cut off his finger really should have not been there in the first place, because it's contrasting everything else that you have in the game. Most importantly, you are an observer and you are a participant in the rescue mission and in the quest for the survival of the lead characters. But in that particular sequence you get coerced and you become protagonist in that degree of sadism, and that for me is unacceptable. So hopefully when they make another game, Cage and his team will consider some of these points. It did get mentioned in press as well. I think some people are really worried about those elements where any of the gamers could just become actively involved in some of the sadism. However, love the visuals, love the music, love the atmosphere, love the story, although at times it might have come across as being overly complicated, and replayability. In this instance, in this walkthrough, Lauren was killed and Jaden was killed, so my quest next time would be to keep them alive. And maybe we'll get another ending. If all of them are alive at the end, maybe it will be, an overly happy ending with Madison and Ethan getting together and living happily ever after. Well, we'll have to see. What we'll do now is we'll just wait until the credits are over, and then we'll go into the extras and bonuses. As you noticed during the walkthrough, I acquired quite a few bonuses during this gameplay, so let's have a look and see what the bonuses are. Previously there were several trailers and outtakes, as well as some of the audition scenes, which really made the full package of, Heavy Rain Special Edition most attractive. And as soon as the credits are finished, we'll have a look. And I think I would have won about 25 or 27 trophies so far, but overall about 58 to be won. So there's obviously a lot of scope for myself to replay the game and get some of the extra trophies. I acquired some of those which were ultra rare, but on the other hand, I missed out on, certain points during the game, so it'll be always good to revisit. As you could see, the composer unfortunately died in 2013, and the entire project was dedicated to him. I find it really quite extraordinary that they deployed a separate selection of instruments to follow any of the, each one of the characters. So when you watch Shelby, you get one lot of instruments. When you follow Madison, you get another lot. And that builds not just the atmosphere in the game, but actually it focuses your attention to the character. That is remarkable, and that is something that really is one of the best achievements of this game, considering that they had 2,000 pages of script and that the director had given only 3 months to the composer to finish the score, well, we can certainly say that the outcome was absolutely outstanding. So the credits are gone. We've come to a happy ending. We lost 2 characters. We saved other 3. And when I say 2 characters, I don't really count Scott Shelby as one of the, the likable characters. So therefore, the fact that he got killed at the end is fully and well deserved. We always wanted him, if he was the origami killer, to face a very tragic end, and that's what happened in the course of this gameplay. But we are going to be replaying and hoping that the other 2 characters, Lauren and Jaden, will be kept alive. So happy ending overall, and bonuses acquired during the gameplay. And now is the time to have a look at everything we got under the extras. So let's have a look. See the trophies we won so far. Interactive Drama, White Knight, Good Friends, Negotiator, VIP, Lucky Locker, Blunder, Self-Control, Cat and Mouse. Happy Birthday. Well, that's a bit bizarre. That's not it. No, I'm losing it. Hang on. Tough Guy, Coward, Good Cop, Goldfinger, Hands Up, Wise Guy, I'm a Killer, Queen of Ropes, Pride Save, Loverboy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 24. Kind-Hearted, Coldest Eyes, Heavy Rain Hero, Save the Kid. So you could see there in correct order, and altogether I won about half of the trophies, so there'll be obviously another opportunity to get some of those in the future. But let's have a look at bonuses. Heavy Rain trailer. We watched it at the beginning whilst in the introduction, but why not watch it again? Now, obviously, once we know everything, it is going to be a good refresher.
Are you prepared to suffer to save your son? You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera. If you succeed, you will get your reward.
How far will you go to save someone you love?
Agent Norman Jaden, FBI.
Good evening. My name's Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. I'm investigating the case of the origami killer.
I'd like a room.
Madison Page, 27. Single.
Ethan Mars has had psychological problems since his first son died. He is haunted by visions of drowning bodies. A few weeks ago, after one of our usual sessions, I found this on the floor. It must have fallen out of his pocket.
Ash, I want you to assign every available man to finding Ethan Mars. I want you to keep an eye on the train stations, the airports, the bus terminals. I want every cop in the city on his ass, so that if he moves, we know about it. You're gonna die, you son of a bitch!
I swore on my son's grave that I would kill the man who murdered him.
I just don't believe he's guilty.
Your other son, Mrs. Shepherd. What was his name?
Everything I did,
Make
I did for
choices,
love.
face the consequences. I like that. Make choices, face the consequences. It's a good tagline for this game. Your choices that you make for any one of those characters will determine the outcome. So keep it in mind when you replay. It is always going to be enjoyable. So let's have a look. We have Heavy Rain prototype, the casting. This particular bit is very interesting because they deployed a brand new engine prior to Sony getting involved, and they had a major showcasing event during the E3 in 2006, I think, or 2005, 2003, one of those years, don't quote me on this. And the engine was really remarkable. when watching this particular clip, I was reminded of another game which was created a few years later, LA Noire, and it had a proprietary facial recognition type of engine, but you know, it worked out very well in that game. But I thought the engine used for Heavy Rain was way ahead of its time, and as you will see in this clip, it looks remarkable when you extract the character from what would have been seen after the green screen was deployed, and then you can see her in her ordinary warehouse style environment. So let's have a look without without any further words given.
Go ahead, take a seat. Can you give me your name and your age, please?
My name is Mary Smith. I'm 24.
Have you ever taken any acting lessons, Mary?
Not really. I couldn't afford it, but I watch a lot of films, and I learned so much by watching them.
Have you shot anything recently?
I've had a few bit parts, little things here and there, nothing very serious for the moment. I'm always too tall, too short, wrong hair. There's always something wrong with me.
Okay, have you learned your lines?
Yes.
Let's get started. Mark it, please.
Casting Heavy Rain, actress Mary Smith, take one.
And action.
The first time I saw you, I knew you were the one. I thought these things only happened in the movies, you know? Pounding heart, the sweaty hands, and the shaky legs. I was coming out of the theater, and it started pouring heavy rain, so there I was, soaking wet, teeth chattering, freezing cold, and then you came up to me. You looked at me straight in the eyes, and you said, "Need an umbrella, miss?" You sent me flowers for weeks, and you said you'd love me forever. 3 months later, we were getting married. God, it sounds so stupid. It's such a corny romance. But real life, it never ends up being what you think it's going to be. You think it's going to be one big happy fairy tale. And then one day you wake up in an average little house, leading an average little life, and your real dreams are about paying the bills and maybe someday getting a bigger TV. And you realize that maybe that wasn't the life you were dreaming of. You realize maybe things could have been different. And maybe I actually could have lived with all of that, but then one day it all just stops. Starts with something small. A little lipstick on a collar. A few nights where you come home a bit late. At first I tell myself that I'm crazy, that you would never do such a thing. But just to ease my mind, one night I follow you as you leave the office. I follow you to the CD hotel where you meet the girl. And then my whole world falls apart. I come home and I cry for hours in my kitchen. I get the gun from the drawer in the bedroom, and I tell myself that if this is all that life has to offer me, then I can do without. But then I change my mind. After all, I'm not the one who's cheating. So, quietly, I wait for you to come home, sitting in my average little kitchen. Obviously, when you get home, you don't suspect a thing, so I press the fucking gun against your forehead and I take a few seconds to watch the fear grow in your eyes. You tell yourself, she won't do it, she doesn't have the guts, she's just trying to teach me a lesson. But you are so wrong, honey. I sentence you to death for turning my life into a soap opera cliche, for stepping on my dreams, for not giving a shit about me all those years, and for lying to me and betraying me and humiliating me. I'm making an example out of you for all the assholes out there who think they can keep on fucking us over and over. Goodbye, my love. So, how was it?
Very nice, very nice.
You think I might stand a chance?
Someone will get in touch with you and let you know. She wasn't too bad, huh? Doesn't matter. She's too tall for the part.
Well, we could probably consider that being staged because Auriel did get her part, and she was perfect for that role. Just I find it extraordinary the way they've done it. It seemed so convincing, and you know, she was just like 100% for this role. Lucky them. So let's have a look. We have concept art, and I'm quite curious to see what else I acquired during this gameplay. Crafting virtual actors. Making of casting real actors. Any more? Well, I think we'll have a look at the video clips first, which is making of number 1, crafting virtual actors. Jackie Ainsley, she played Madison. So now you can see the way they've done it.
Got a badge or something, Mr. J?
Yeah, of course.
Check. You can pass.
But that's interesting. You could really see the way it all works whilst you are in full motion of making of the game. And I'd say that they really had chosen the best possible actors for those parts. They really blended in very well with the atmosphere and with the story. It just seemed like a perfect mix. The stunts were pretty good that she was doing, and she must have prepared quite a bit for those. Let's have a look at the making of 2, casting real actors. You'll be able to sort of get to know the names and you'll be properly introduced to all of them.
Dad! Hey, take it easy. You're gonna knock me over. So this is your big day, huh?
Am I grown up now?
10 years old. That's not exactly grown up, but you're getting there.
So could you just give me a name for the camera?
My name is Pascal Langdale.
What is the text that was given to you?
I have Norman, Jaden, and Ethan as well. Sean may be dead in a few hours. He wants to test me. He wants to punish me for Jason's death. See, I'm the one who should have died. I wanted to save him. I would have done anything to give my life for his, but I couldn't. Not a day goes by that I don't see his face. Now, Sean has got nothing to do with that, nor do any of the other children. This has to stop.
You've got to hand yourself into the police.
If I hand myself into the police, I lose all chances of finding Sean. They'll question me, but I won't be able to tell them anything because I don't know anything. I don't know what happened.
Ethan, you may have killed those children. You don't know what you're capable of. You must hand yourself in.
I have to save Sean at all costs. He may be a prisoner somewhere, and I'm the only one who knows where. If I have to face up to all these trials to prove to myself that I love my son, then I'll do it.
Ethan, it's crazy. You have to hand yourself in.
I'll hand myself into the police when I have found Sean. Now, don't... Promise me you won't inform on me until I have found my son.
Recent report indicates that the police are now treating this as another kidnapping. Obviously,
Hello there,
time is running
sweetheart.
out fast for the
What can I do
investigators
for
trying
you?
to find the child.
I'd like a room.
Michael Nettie for ICN.
For you? Anything.
That's for sure.
I'm 25. I've been modelling for 5 years. I didn't mean to get into modelling at all. I was scouted on the street. I was shopping with my mum. The last time I saw him, he was watching a convoy of trucks going by. I was about 50 yards away. And he suddenly turned and looked at me. Locked on my eyes. And I didn't realise what was happening straight away. I heard cries from behind me. Everyone started running in slow motion. I just remained motionless, locked on his gaze. I hadn't noticed the detonator in his hand.
Your vast experience hasn't prevented 8 victims from being murdered. Fucking asshole! Blake, if you've got a better plan, I'm willing to listen. Don't be shy. I'm all ears.
Yeah, Leonor can do.
Can you tell me a little bit what you've done recently?
The last thing I did a thing called Richard the Lionheart for the BBC.
Corda confessed.
You beat him all night to make him talk. He would have confessed to Kennedy's assassination if you asked him. Your confession is a heap of shit. Corder is not the origami killer. He's a sick child killer, but he has nothing to do with the disappearance of Sean Mars. We have lost time for nothing. And all this time it continues to rain. According to the weather forecast, we've got less than 12 hours before we reach 7 inches of rainfall. And we haven't the remotest idea where Sean Mars is.
I bought 10 minutes of your time, didn't I? All I ask is that you use that time to answer some questions.
So? This is where you work?
Disappointed?
No, it's just very different from what I imagined. How do you become a private eye?
Well, I was a cop for 20 years, and one fine day my wife decided to run off with, so... You should see all the faces of the husbands when they first discover that I know that they have a mistress. It's like a little kid, their hand caught in a cookie jar. I could have tripled my salary. If I accepted everything they promised me, just to keep quiet.
And there we have it. I think it's a perfect closure to what we've been doing so far by playing the game. you get a very good picture how they've done it, and you know, the cast that was involved, and the way various assistants worked with them, and how they brought everything to the fore. So it's wonderful to be able to gain all those bonus parts as we play the game. And I'll just show you a few of those which are focused on the concept art. And as you could see, they're really meticulous. This is from the prologue, from the beginning. Absolutely amazing, you know, attention to detail, and you could see how they sort of started sketching out and fleshing out the ideas, and then they would really be turned into in-depth vision of everything. Meticulous, precise, colourful, beautifully designed. So it's a true joy to watch, really. You can see these are the sketches for that hotel, and then for the crime scene. Reminiscent of a graphic novel, of course, in you know, some sections, particularly here with storyboards. That weird office of that psychiatrist, my goodness, I mean, who on earth would go there for treatment? It looked like a major church, a cathedral, not a psychiatrist's office. There's the police station, the cells. I just found mouth-watering, really, the graphic design for this game. And obviously, being a major film noir fan, I like anything that is even remotely reminiscent of that era. And this game really captures that perfectly well. Although, like I said during the walkthrough, they did have some bits that reminded me of Silent Hill, another very big PS exclusive, and from the 90s, in fact. And also there was this one section with Jaden that reminded me of Stanley Kubrick's Shining, particularly because he was trying to play the piano and the barman came to him and they had a chat. So really the game that combines lots of different influences but blends them in beautifully, and obviously with the result which is most remarkable. If you can think of any other games that could compete with Heavy Rain, drop us a line, let us know. Maybe there are some games on PC that I've not really come across as yet, equally interesting. But the engines had developed considerably in the last 12 years since the game has been released. And I just thought that initially, when they had that major E3 conference, must have been really quite mind-blowing for anyone attending. I think the atmosphere of LA Noire, another developer obviously, and another publisher, Rockstar, is reminiscent of Heavy Rain, but the trouble I had with that game was that you didn't really feel that much for the characters, whilst in this one, through the combination of music and then various bits of storyline, character build-up, you really feel for your protagonists, and you really feel that that they're going through at any given moment in time. I think this is a great bonus. Whilst the other game was focused on investigation, taking notes and looking at determining, who was telling the truth and who lied, the technicalities of, you can say the procedural side of any investigation, but the emotion was missing. Although the atmosphere was beautifully captured as well, and I thought also visually, Eleanor is one of the outstanding games of that period. No surprise that it's been recently re-released for all platforms, remastered and with some add-ons. If I'm not mistaken, they've thrown in the entire DLC, which was originally only available on Xbox. So all good as well. But when you play LA Noire, play Heavy Rain, you compare those two games, go back to Fahrenheit, which is obviously another game by the same developer, Quantic Dreams. And, have fun and consider which one you like the best. I think for myself, being a lifelong film fan, and I wrote on film for many years, still write on film in fact, I love those films which really bring me in. So you basically live those lives with the characters and you feel for them, and you become a part of the film, and you love the protagonists and you're in there and you experience the life through the transformation that the film director is giving you. I think that for me is fundamental with some of those films that I love the most. And with the video games is somewhat similar, particularly in the recent years where things have evolved quite considerably. You know, there are many people involved in production of any of those games, and you get new ideas and new techniques. There's new technology that's raising the bar and making many things possible which were previously just, you know, the matter of science fiction, so to speak. And it's looking very promising. One of the games that I want to be playing very soon is Detroit, and it does have some similarities with Heavy Rain from what I could gather, to reading various reports and medias. So this is going to be one of the next games that I will be playing, and we'll have a thorough walkthrough. But maybe before I get my teeth into the game, I will do a demo, which I've seen is available on PS4 free of charge. So that's what we'll do maybe next. And coming back to this game, let's still enjoy a few of those slides and just admire the graphic designers that were taking part in the making of this game. The design is so meticulous. So many different shots there. I could see that during this gameplay I acquired quite a few of those slides that previously I did not have. Look at this. Downtown in any of those large American cities. Very, very similar to what we have in London called Soho, which is a very well known area really in the West End of London. There we go. Amazing design. 127 days of shooting. Wonder how long the post-production was. Must have been fairly lengthy. Well, that is the section of the game that I never finished. And sooner or later I want to get through this. I want to get through the wires and get to the other side and discover whatever the message was through that butterfly that he was trying to get. Virtual golf. Well, in this instance it wasn't just virtual, they were playing it up there. Damaged by the fire. Yeah, that's the bit that reminds me of Shining. Remember that sequence in Shining when Jack Nicholson goes to the bar and talks to the barman, and it's very, very similar. Lit, really, the scene's lit in the same fashion. Same sort of atmosphere. Friendly, cold, but sinister, you could say. Whose flat was this? Oh, that's Manfred's. Oh yeah, I know, that's the character with the shotgun. Scrapyard. I lost Jaden several times in there. Scrapyard, graveyard. So glad that two of my protagonists didn't end up there. And it could have happened. And we have concept art number 7. We'll have a quick look and then we'll bring this to a successful conclusion. Black Lagoon nightclub. Those two might be really the guys who were creating the game. Just fancy themselves there. These are the girls. The interior. Paco Mendes's flat, I think. It's raining all the time. Regardless of where you are in this game, it's always raining. And just like the title says, it's always very heavy. Heavy rain. Wait a minute. This is a bit like Shining as well. Or maybe even 2001 Odyssey. Psychopath's Lab. What a grisly, ghastly place. Yeah, the final sequence takes place there. It was so wonderful to get Madison to rescue the boy and obviously to do away with the killer. She's a true hero. It's disappointing that we didn't get that happy ending where two of them end together. I have a technical fault on Twitch, so just bear with me. I need to double check as to why. I see. It's just something that's happening on my tablet rather than on the network, so that's obviously refreshing. And who is this? Is this Madison or is this Lauren? Hard to tell from this picture, but I think most likely to be Lauren when she lives, unlike in my gameplay. And that's Jaden's office. Wow. Think of all these hours spent on every single detail and all these graphic designers really involved in a major project like Heavy Rain. It must be so rewarding when you go to E3 and you start showing the clips and you feel that people are picking up on the vibe. It must be absolutely astonishing. Because they spent almost 4 to 6 years, you know, on the making of these games. So really, the end product was definitely both formidable and thoroughly enjoyable. Right, so we've come to the end. We've come to the end of our walkthrough and our gameplay. I would like to thank everybody for coming, for being patient, also for revisiting, and I would like to thank in particular those of you who had sent me a few questions. I look forward to seeing you again. I'll be streaming many other games. I like everything really. RPGs, adventure games, horror stroke survival, FPS, you name it. And what I have been embracing in the recent years has been you know, the games which are fully online, like Neverwinter or Star Trek, or you know, all the other ones, and sometimes you'll focus on those. But generally, my streams will have always a particular focus on a certain game, and then we'll have initially a major introduction, so everybody gets to know how the game was made, who was involved, and you know, everything to do with the game, like the theory, the concept, the development, release and reception, that sort of thing. And after that, we'll get into the game, we'll talk, and hopefully we'll enjoy the gameplay. So, thank you so much for coming, and I wish you all a very good night. I hope you will replay Heavy Rain and love some of the sections as much as I do. And I will look forward to seeing you again, hopefully very soon. So take care and have a very good night.